right? That what will be the sign, that means whether it will be negative or positive, different trigonometric ratios, what will be their sign in different quadrants. We saw that all are positive in first quadrant, only sine and cosec in second, tan and cot in third, cos and sec in the fourth quadrant. Now the logic behind that, the reason behind that, let's see that as well, right? And the thing which we are going to do now, the exercise, that will also help you in understanding and deriving many other concepts as well. Okay, so let's try that. Let's say this is or even before this, let's say you have a right angle triangle like this. Let's say this is a right angle triangle. This is our angle theta, and let's say the vertices of the triangles are A, B, and C. As you can see, AC is the hypotenuse. With respect to theta, AB is adjacent and BC is opposite. Now, if I say this is X and this is Y, the length is X and Y. Okay, and if I say this is R, or you can also take AB, BC, and AC. So, in terms of sine and cos, we already know that sine theta is equal to opposite, that is Y, divided by hypotenuse, that is R. Similarly, cos theta is the adjacent, that is X, divided by hypotenuse, that is R in this case. So from this, can I say that Y is equals to R sine theta and X is equals to R cos theta? Now this, whatever we have done here, this is something which you will find in every chapter of physics, especially while doing mechanics, and even in case of even in optics in 12th standard, in electrostatics, everywhere you will find this thing which you will be doing. So what you can say here is, to summarize, that in a triangle, if this angle is theta, the opposite side y, or simply I'll say opposite, will be equal to r, which is hypotenuse. Let's write hypotenuse itself, into sine theta, and x, that is adjacent component, will be equal to hypotenuse into cos theta. It is nothing, it's just whatever you have done here, right? The same thing we have rewritten in a different manner, just to understand, just to have a clear picture that when you have to find the length of the opposite side, it will be equal to the hypotenuse into sine theta. Length of adjacent side, it will be equal to the hypotenuse into cos theta, or r sine theta, r cos theta, as we have seen here, right? That is one thing. Now, if in this case, if I say that r is equals to 1, if r is 1, in that case, that means if AC is 1, if the length of AC is 1 meter, 1 kilometer, 1 centimeter, 1 decimeter, whatever, if it is 1 unit, then y will be equal to sine theta and x will be equal to cos theta. Agree? Because r is 1. So when r is 1, y is sine theta and x is cos theta. This you have to understand when r is 1. Right? So we have taken a very special case of whatever. This is the general case, and the thing which we have seen in the last, this is a special case. Why we did that? Because now this will help you in understanding why sine theta, cos theta, or why these different signs in different places, right? So if you take any triangle, you take right angle triangle, such that this length is equal to 1. So what do we know now? if you have to find, if this is theta and if you have to find sine theta, you just find this y. If you are able to find this y will be your sine theta and the x will be your cos theta. So x coordinate gives you cos theta and y coordinate gives you sine theta, right? Y coordinate will give you sine theta. X coordinate will give you cos theta. When this hypotenuse is of length 1. Okay. Now, how is that important here? So let's see that as well. So here, now what do we know? In this, as you can see in first quadrant, so these are the quadrants such that this is positive x-axis, this is negative x-axis, this is positive y-axis, and this is negative y-axis. You can see sine theta and cos theta depends on what? The coordinates y and x. And in the first, both y and x are positive. That means sine will be positive and cos. Y is positive means what? Sine will be positive. Cos is positive means what? X will be positive. And if sine and cos both are positive, that means what? Tan will be positive. And if all the three are positive, then that means even their reciprocals will be positive. So that's why all will be positive. Coming to this second quadrant. So that was about the first quadrant. In the second quadrant, you have x is negative and x is what? Cos theta. So that means cos will be negative and sine is what? Plus. I mean, y sine is y coordinate and y coordinate in second quadrant is what? Positive. So that means here sine will be positive but cos will be negative. In third quadrant, you can see both x and y are negative. So that means sine and cos both will be negative. But their division, sine by cos, that is negative by negative. So that will be positive. That means tan will be positive. In the last quadrant, x is positive. That means cos is positive. Y is negative. That means sine is negative. So here cos is positive. So that's how we get to this final conclusion, ASTC, that in first quadrant all positive, then sine in second, tan in third, and cos in fourth. Now whatever we have done here, it will also help you in finding the different angles. I mean these trigonometric ratios for different angles, something which you must have done earlier as well. So for example, 30-degree, right? So, or before 30-degree, let's say 45-degree, you must be already aware of this. So if you have a triangle, a right angle triangle, in which one of the angle is 45-degree. So if one angle is 45-degree, even the other angle will be 45-degree. Right? So if one angle of a right angle triangle is 45-degree, the other has to be equal to 45-degree because the third angle is 90-degree. So in that case, this triangle actually becomes a isosceles triangle in which side AB and BC will be same. The side opposite to this equal angle will be equal in length. So that means if you take, there are various ways of doing this. If I take AB is equals to 1, even BC will be equal to 1. You can take even x and x, doesn't matter. And if that is the case, then hypotenuse will be what? Root 2. So from here we derive the expressions for sine theta. Sine theta is opposite, that is 1. Theta means here 45-degree. So sine 45-degree, if you take any of these 45-degree, there are two angles with 45-degree, you take any one, sine will be opposite, that is 1, divided by hypotenuse, that is root 2. And same thing will be with cos theta as well. Even cos theta will be 1 divided by root 2. And that's why tan, which is sine by cos, is 1 by root 2 divided by 1 by root 2. Both are same, so that's why it will be 1. And then you know how to find the others. So that was about 45 degree. I think you are also aware of the (60° and 30°. These are the well-known angles, right? So suppose this is an equilateral triangle. So if it is an equilateral triangle, ABC, that means all the angles are 60°. That's how we get an angle equal to 60°. Now in this, you drop a perpendicular like this. So if you drop this, and all these derivations are not directly important, they won't be asked directly now. They were important from the point of view of your 10th standard. Now the derivation is not important, but the method is important because it will help you in solving many problems later. So this is an equilateral triangle. I dropped a perpendicular from here, from say vertex A to base BC. Let's say this is D. So perpendicular, and because it is an equilateral triangle, so this will also bisect the BC. I hope this much geometry you are already aware of. If you have any doubt in that, you can ask me later. And even now, if you want to ask, you can ask. When I do that, this angle is 60 degrees still, right? That is the angle of the triangle. But this angle, the half of 60 degree, this is how much? This is 30 degree. And now you can find various ratios here. Before finding ratios, how to find ratios, we'll do that. But what you have to do that, you should, like here in the first example, you have found different sides of the triangle. So same thing you'll have to do here as well. So let's take all the sides to be equal to 1 because it is an equilateral triangle. So that's why the BD and DC will be equal to half. And now you have a triangle, a right angle triangle here. If you consider this A, B, D, A, B, and D, this is a right angle triangle in which one side is 1 and the second side is half. So what will be this side? This will be 1 square minus 1 by 2 whole square and root of that. We are applying the Pythagoras theorem. So with that, this perpendicular side will be what? It will be 1 minus 1 by 4 and root of that. That is root of 3 by 4, which is nothing but root 3 divided by 2. So this perpendicular side is root 3 divided by 2. So now if you see, you have a right angled triangle in which one angle is 60 degree, the other angle is 30 degree. Obviously it's a right triangle, so obviously one is 90 degree. So this is 60 degree suppose, and this is 30 degree, and we have already seen that in that case this side is root 3 by 2 and this side is 1 and this side will be 1 by 2. So now if you are finding for 60 degree or if you are finding for 30 degree, you know what do you have to do. So sine 60 degrees. So this is 60 degree. So sine will be what? Opposite. Opposite by hypotenuse. Opposite is what? Root 3 by 2. So this is root 3 by 2. Similarly, cos. Cos 60 degree is what? Cos 60 degrees adjacent by. So 1 by 2 divided by 1. And others you can find, that is tan 60 degree. Now you don't even have to see the triangle. Tan is sine by cos. So that is root 3 by 1 or simply root 3. This is root 3. Coming to 30 degree. Now this is the angle. If this is the angle, this is the opposite side. So sine will be 1 by 2. Cos 30 degree will be root 3 by 2. And tan will be sine by cos, that is 1 by root 3. So this is how you find the three basic angles and their, or very common angles like 30 degree, 45 degree and 60 degree. You find the ratios of these three angles. Now there is two more important angles actually, that is 0 degree and 90 degree. So we should know how to, or what will be the value of these three different ratios for 0 degree and 90 degree as well. Now how to do that? So now again we'll go to that quadrant. Now if it is 0 degree, we know that this is the line where if you will have both the sides, it will be 0 degree. So that means what? That means x coordinate can be whatever, but y coordinate will always be 0. So here y is always 0. X coordinate can be anywhere, but y will be always 0. Similarly, if it is 90 degree, that means this is the case, 90 degrees here. So in this case, whatever you do, whatever be the value of y, in this case, x will be always 0. And just a while ago, we have concluded that y will give you the value of sine and x will give you the value of cos. So cos is 0 here, where at 90 degree. So cos 90 degree is equals to 0, right? And sine 0 degree is equal to 0. That's all. Others you will have to others. So you got the cos 90, you got the sine 0. Now suppose you have to find sine 0 degree. Sorry, sine 0 is already done. Sine 90 degree. You have to find sine 90 degree. What do you know about sine and cos? Sine square theta plus cos square theta is 1. So that means sine square theta is equals to 1 minus cos square 90 degree. That means it is 1 minus 0. That means this is 1. That means even sine 90 degree is equal to 1. And similarly, you can find for cos 90 degree, cos 90 is already done, right? Cos 0 degree. So cos 0 degree will be equal to 1. Same approach you have to apply. You will get cos 0 degree as 1. So these are some important trigonometric ratios of some very common, very frequently asked, or very frequently, or very, you can say, commonly used angles, right? So you have now angles, special angles, and quadrant wise, you know that in which quadrant, which ratio will be negative, which ratio will be positive. So all these things you are now aware of. Now these values, the special angles and their values which we have seen, it is again very important, very frequently used both in mathematics and physics, sometimes in chemistry as well. So it is always good to remember these values. You should not be there, I mean in exam you should not be doing the derivation of these values. You should be aware of that. And that's why there are a lot of questions on heights and distances and trigonometric proofs which you must have already solved in your 10th standard. And here also you will find such problems where you may have to solve questions involving trigonometry. So that will help you in learning these values. You don't have to go and by heart this. By solving problems, more and more problems, which we will do in our classes later, you will see that you don't actually need to sit and remember or sit and learn these formulas or these special values, right? See, so that we'll do in the next class, and next class we'll continue with the same topic. We'll see more topics which we have to cover as per 11th standard, as per 11th and 12th standard physics.